Happy Friday, everyone. I'm day weather meteorologist Don Watzel with your afternoon video update for February 26th. We still have high wind gusts and therefore high blowover risks that will continue into early this evening and maybe part of the overnight in spots, particularly along the wind prone areas near Interstate 80. Meanwhile, in the west, heavy mountain snows will dissipate as we get towards daybreak Saturday, with showers spreading eastward, covering most of the state with varying amounts. Most areas will be light, but could get some bands of heavier snows at spots, especially Saturday afternoon. Then, as we head into Sunday, looking mainly dry, we may have some leftover breezy conditions over sections of the state. And then, as we head into next week, meteorological spring begins on Monday, March 1st, and it could be signaled by a building ridge of high pressure. And we'll talk about that real briefly at the end of the video. First things first, through the rest of our Friday and into the overnight, the main story is the strong wind gusts. They were a little slow in getting going this morning, but since about 9 o'clock or so, we've had gusts at or over 60 miles an hour over many areas in central and southeastern Wyoming. The usual suspects: I-80 east of Rawlins around Walcock Junction, through the Laramie Valley and near Cheyenne. Another trouble spot, especially late morning through the afternoon, has been I-25 between Cheyenne and Wheatland. It's created high blowover risks and developed travel restrictions for light and high profile vehicles. Another issue we had and what we were concerned about is areas of blowing snow on I-80. This was a little slower in getting going as well, but in the past couple of hours, we've had sections of blowing snow between Rawlins and Cheyenne, most notably on the summit and especially around the Arlington area. We'll show a picture of that here in a moment. Elsewhere across the state, mainly dry and breezy in the northeast. Colder in the west, may have some spotty snow showers over the valleys, with moderate to heavy mountain snow continuing over the western mountains and valleys through Saturday morning. Still looking at about 6 to 12 inches of new snow in the high elevations and maybe about 4 to 8 inches in the valleys. This could include Jackson Hole, Teton Pass, as well as Togety Pass, and could get some moderate amounts near the upper Green River Basin. Meanwhile, in the far southwest near Evanston, could get a little bit of moderate snow banding going overnight, and that could lead to 1 to 3 inches. Speaking of the previously mentioned blowing snow, this is an image of I-80 Arlington near the Arlington interchange at about 1:30 this afternoon. Had those winds pick up, carry some of that snow that fell in the past couple of days, breaking the crusts and spreading over the interstate, causing some reduced visibilities and scattered slick roads for travelers. Luckily, though, areas east and west of this region has had much better viewing and visibility conditions, and that should continue to improve as we head into the evening and overnight. The winds in general will subside after about 8 o'clock or so over most areas, but around this Arlington stretch, high wind gusts may linger through about 7 or 8 o'clock Saturday morning. Then into Saturday, light snow possibly spreading over much of the state. It'll dissipate from the heavy snow that we've had in the last day or so in the west, with light snow showers, especially in the north, central, and perhaps in the southwest. Southeastern areas may get some additional light snow, but areas along and east of the Laramie Range could be downsloped, which will keep conditions mainly dry. However, a few areas of possible note: Interstate 90. Some of these areas along this stretch could get about 1 to 3 inches of new snow in the afternoon, and the most likely areas will be near the eastern edge of the Bighorn Basin and around Sundance or so as you head towards the western Black Hills of northeastern Wyoming. Other spots, the Bighorns themselves, could get another 2 to 4 inches, as could Casper Mountain, especially late morning through late afternoon. For the rest of the state, light snow showers and in the far southeast could get some brief afternoon wind gusts that could get to 40 and 50 miles an hour along, once again, the wind-prone spots of I-80 and I-25. Luckily, though, this should be localized and should dissipate rapidly as we head into the evening hours. Then for Sunday, looking pretty good. We'll still be chilly across the state as we have the last remnants of that broad, cold upper trough making their way eastward. Then we should have dry conditions with sunshine, and we could have general light to breezy winds. Some pockets of stronger gusts in the afternoon could develop in southeastern Wyoming and perhaps the western mountain passes in western and northwest Wyoming. As we head into Monday and March 1st, meteorological spring starts, and the region will be under a building ridge of high pressures that should bring some warmer temperatures, especially over central and eastern areas of Wyoming through much of the week. We could have a little flattening of that ridge pattern by Tuesday into Wednesday, but conditions should stay mainly dry outside of a few mountain snow showers. Thanks for listening and watching, everyone. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you again Monday.